This is your Week 6 update. What we're going to do is first of all talk about the Week 5 video question, then we'll talk about what's up for Week 6. The Week 5 video question was for this question: assume that the labor market was originally in equilibrium. Further assume that the government enacts an effective minimum wage, a price floor. Given this information, answer the following questions. Well, let's assume that these two graphs we have here are the exact same graphs for the exact same labor market. One is before, let's say 1, this is before the minimum wage, and 2 is when the minimum wage is enacted. So before the minimum wage, if we're in equilibrium, this area here is consumer surplus, all right? And then this area here is producer surplus. And finally, if that's the case, when you add consumer surplus and producer surplus together, you get economic surplus. All right? Now the first question was, in order for the minimum wage, the price floor, to be effective, would it be placed above or below the equilibrium wage rate? Well, price floor is a legally determined minimum price that sellers may receive. So therefore, in order for it to be effective, the price floor would have to be placed above the equilibrium wage rate. If it was set below, it would have no effect because the equilibrium wage rate is already above the price floor. Okay? Now, what effect would this have on the market? Well, it's going to be sort of difficult to, well, we'll figure this out. So, first of all, what's going to happen to consumer surplus? Consumer surplus would just be this little area. Get the pen working here. Consumer surplus would be this little area here would be consumer surplus. So consumer surplus would decrease, all right? But what's going to happen to producer surplus? Well, producer surplus would now be this area here. So remember, consumer surplus is the area beneath the demand curve but above the market price, and producer surplus is the area beneath the market price but above the supply curve. And then these two areas added together are going to give you your economic surplus, which you can see is now going to be less. And why it's going to be less by what amount? Well, this whole green area here is your deadweight loss. Okay, so let's go back to our questions. We already answered question 1. Question 2, would effective minimum wage price floor produce a surplus or shortage in the market? Well, it would produce a shortage because at the minimum wage, if we went down here, this would be your quantity supplied, and this here would be your quantity demanded. And whenever quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded, you have a surplus. All right? And the third question is, what effect would the minimum wage have on the price floor? What effect would an effective minimum wage or price floor in the labor market have on consumer surplus, producer surplus, and economic surplus? I already answered that. Consumer surplus would decrease, producer surplus would increase, and economic surplus would also decrease. All right, so what's up for Week 6? Well, your Week 6 homework assignment, quiz, and video question are all due Sunday, October 6th at 11 p.m. If you have any questions, send me an email. Thanks, and have a good day.